By the way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.
Inselmilkom jiena Gabriel Lija u nilqakom għal programm ieħor ta' diskussjoni għaż-żgħażagħ By the way. Minn ġimgħa l-oħra nżommu l-appuntament tagħna f'dan il-ħin biex nittrattaw xi suġġett jew ieħor. U nipprova dejjem anki naħseb f'mistednin u temi interessanti. U kif smajt l-istorja ta' dawn iż-żewġ persuni illi għandi miegħi illum bil-fors xtaqt naqsam magħkom is-semmija għaliex nemmen li għandhom ħafna valuri sbieħ. U għalkemm mhumiex żgħażagħ nemmen li aħna iż-żgħażagħ b'mod speċjali għandna ħafna x'nitalmu mill-esperjenza tagħhom. Għaliex ħafna drabi nitkellmu dwar l-anzjani, dwar kemm għandhom valuri sbieħ, x'jaddulna għal daqstant ħsibt li anke nieħu l-opportunità ta' dan il-programm ukoll biex jiena wkoll nagħtikom l-opportunità li anke twaslu l-esperjenza vasta tagħkom. U bi pjaċir illum għandi miegħi fl-studio lil Ronald kif ukoll lil Margaret Mikallef. Margaret, I will switch to English sometimes because I know that you speak English.
Yes.
So if you don't understand anything, just let me know and I will repeat the question in English.
Fair enough, yes.
First of all, is this your first time in a radio station
Yes.
studio?
Yes, yes.
U kif qed tħossok, Ronald?
All right, all right.
All right, m'intix eċitat.
No.
Tajjeb, aħjar. Mela jekk ħanibdew bis-sod. If I had to ask you, how did you meet? Kurjus ta' kif il-qajtox miegħi għandi kopja tajjeb biex għal minn.
L-għonet meta ntajna kien hemm żewġ problemi. Waħda kienet Ingliża. Li qed noħroġ ma' Ingliża. Kienet għadha għandha 15.
U inti kellek, kemm kellek żmien?
17, 18.
Okay.
U dak iż-żmien l-Ingliżi kellhom isem ħażin li hekk toħroġ ma' Ingliża għax kienu jibqgħu barra sad-disa ta' filgħaxija, mentri l-Maltin kienu jridu jkunu ġewwa qabel it-8. Ma kienx Catholic, kienet problema oħra.
Mod speċjali għal dak iż-żmien?
Għal dak iż-żmien iżjed u iżjed. Biss konna tajna f'kumpanija ta' karnival.
Għaw Malta.
Għaw Malta. Li kienet dak iż-żmien tiġġojnja kumpanija ta' karnival kienet daqsxejn perikoluża għal-ommi u missieri ma x'ħat tagħmel.
Ma kienux forsi ħadu pjaċir dak iż-żmien.
U iżjed meta kienu jafu mbagħad li qed noħroġ ma' Ingliża. Li dak iż-żmien ukoll ma kienx daqsxejn xi ħaġa sabiħa għal-Maltin. Iżjed u iżjed, ma kienx Catholic.
Umbagħad kif.
Umbagħad meta konna noħorġu, Margaret dejjem issaqsini fuq il-Catholic x'nagħmlu ma nagħmlux.
Dejjem kienet ġifieri Margaret used to ask him about his faith.
That's right, yes. Well, I had a grandmother. One of my grandmothers was Spanish. And although she never learned English, but she lived with us while we lived in Portsmouth.
Okay.
And she wanted every Palm Sunday, funnily enough, not Easter, every Palm Sunday, once a year she would go to church. And I would always be taken along because I had to translate for her. And so I was very interested in the Catholic, what went on. And so then, when I was about 14, before coming out to Malta, I was already looking to see the different faiths that there were. Okay. And the one that I thought was very interesting was the army. What was it now? Oh dear. Anyway, the Salvation Army, members as the Salvation Army, and they would hold prayer meetings. And they were really jolly. They all had a band, and they all, rather like the charismatics are now, they would clap hands and sing. And I thought, oh, it might be nice if I could join this faith. In the meantime, we came out to Malta.
Okay.
And in those days, the Legion of Mary also used to go knocking on the doors of all the people that they thought were British service people, to see if there were any that were perhaps lapsed or didn't go to church anymore, and would try to encourage them to start again. And so when they knew also that I was looking into they said that they could find someone for me who would give me some instructions. So I was already leaning towards or that way. So
Umbat meta l-tqajt ma' Ronald insomma kienu li jisu resqek lejn il-fidi. Kemm ilkom iż-żewġin issa?
65 years.
65 years. U l-Rusija kemm kienet damet?
L-Rusija
2 years.
kienet hawn Malta għal kważi sena meta tqajna. X'imbagħad sifret.
Dik interessanti wkoll kif irnexxilkom iżommu relazzjoni jew inti mortu wkoll.
Ejja li kienet wara li għamilna l-engagement għaw Malta qabel ma telqu.
Just before then, I became a Catholic, didn't I?
In the meantime, you carry on.
So in the October, I was baptized at Fatima, not far from here, and then we were engaged at the end of October. By that time, in November, we were due to go back to England. My father came out on a submarine for 2.5 years stay in Malta. And so this is how we came to Malta in the first place, because my father was a submariner in the British Navy. And we had lived in Portsmouth, although he too was he was a Welshman. And I was baptized in the Welsh Baptist Church in the Rhondda Valley many years ago now, 84 years ago.
U mbagħad kif irnexxielkom?
U mbagħad meta konna noħorġu, Magri dejjem kienet tistaqsini fuq affarijiet reliġjużi li ma kontx naf.
Twieġeb forsi ħafna.
Ħafna minnhom. U kont ħanoħod għand Fada Bernard, il-Ġiżwita, ma nafx, inti ma tiftakrux naħseb. U anki introduċejta ma the lady who taught Yolanda Gatt.
Who was a Legion of Mary in Slima, actually, she was.
U kif irnexxielkom bad komplu bir-relazzjoni meta Margaret kienet imsifra?
Kienet perikoluża. Għax meta sifret imbagħad kienet ħadd tidħol soru tal-klawsura.
So you're going to go...
U konna ġa engaged dan, eh?
Yes, it was actually the year we were going to get married. And
you were exploring becoming a nun then?
And then the church, we had a retreat. We went on retreat for a long weekend to a convent that they were cloistered nuns. And then when I was there, I had walked in the garden and there was a statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I really felt the longing that it was my place to stay here. So then I went to the Mother Superior and I told her, Mother, I would really like to. And she said, what plans did you have? I said, well, I'm supposed to be getting married in August. She said, my dear, she said, you go home and think about it and never look back and wish you had done the other thing. So I went back home to my mother and I said, I'm going I've decided I'm not going to get married to Ronnie.
Mill-ewwel.
I'm going to, I know where I want to go. I want to be a cloistered nun. And of course they were very strict in those days too there. And my mother told me, if you become a nun, decide to become a nun, she said, the family will have nothing to do with you. We will cut you off completely. So you better think about it. And in those days, I always did what my parents told me. So I gave up the idea and got married to Ronnie.
But you don't regret it, right?
Looking back, I knew it was God's plan, because I've been able to do what I think He's wanted me to do, and that's to reach out.
U għamiltu ħafna xogħol ta' volontarjat, ħafna oqsma tal-ħajja, se nitkellmu ftit min jaf ir-reazzjoni tiegħek inti meta ġiet lura waqt li kont se nidħol sura ta' klawsura. Għaliex hekk li mħabba kienet hemm ovvjament kont ħadħossa ħafna, għalkemm naturalment kieku komplit bil-ħajja ta' soru kienet ukoll tkun sejħa sabiħa. Ronald, ikoll nibda nistaqsik qisu l-ewwel impenn ta'kom fil-volontarjat minn fejn ġi. Għaliex jiena li għamiltu ħafna affarijiet, issa nitkellmu ftit għax inti ħdimt ma' Caritas, ħadtu l-Anzjani Lord, issa nitkellmu dwar dan.
Jiena naħseb bdiet meta kont border sa' Norwigi.
Ok.
Għax mal-ewwel kien hemm il-Crusaders, darrewna dejjem ikonna xi ħaġa interessanti. Umbat, iżjed tard, obviously, kontent għajt ma' ċali Micheli.
Ok.
U kienu introduċini fil-
Il-Caritas?
Il-Caritas. U konna morru grupp zaħir, inkellmu il-residenti San Blas. U mbagħad kienu saqsewni biex inkellem ukoll darba fil-ġimgħa l-ommijiet u l-misserijiet tal-residenti. U jena ħafna kien Micheli. Kien jena ħafna fi għadi.
Jifir inti kont tagħmel bħal sessjoni ta' counseling dak iż-żmien?
Kien ikonna meeting darba fil-ġimgħa mal-parents kollha li kien hemm qegħdin fil-programm. U nlestuhom u
tisimgħuhom.
U anke nikkorreġuhom sa fejn nistgħu fejn forsi żbaljaw ftit anke l-parents.
Ejdilna ftit aktar dwar din, isu.
Per eżempju, għanajlek, l-ewwel dubbi li kienu qed jagħmlu
ċenaturi.
it-tifel jitlobhom il-flus, kienu jtuħ u jonfoqhom fid-droga. U trid tfehmhom il-periklu li kienu qed jagħmlu bl-imħabba ta' ġifieri mhux.
U dak iż-żmien ma kienx dawn daqstant kampanji ta' għarfien bħalma illum il-ġurnata.
Le, kull ma kellna darba fil-ġimgħa konna tim u nintaqgħu
ma' dawn il-persuni.
Mal-parents ta' dawk li kienu qed jagħmlu.
Kemm kellek żmien dak iż-żmien, Ronald? Bej wieħed u ieħor sewa?
Late 20s, ġifieri.
U kemm għamilt involut mal-Caritas?
Domt ħafna, naħseb 20 years.
20 sena. U jiena naf ukoll li mbagħad anki f'punt minnhom anki bdejt tgħin anki fil-faċilità kurattiva ta' Kordin.
Ma mhux daqshekk ta' l-iżjed ħaġa mhux ma rridx niftaħar ta' ġifieri, ma jien kont l-ewwel wieħed illi impjegajt dejn mill-residenti meta ħarġu. U impjegajthom miegħi.
Ħarġu mill-ħabs jew ħarġu mill-programm qed ngħidu?
Mill-programm.
Meta ħarġu mill-programm sewwa.
Mill-programm. Li kienet mhux faċli għax jiena kelli staff ta' bej 11 u 12
Il-ruħ?
il-ruħ u l-oħrajn ma ħadux gost illi ħajkonna maħna jaħdem
X'kienet il-kumpanija tiegħek, Ronald?
l-elite, menswear shops.
Ok.
U l-oħrajn ma tantx għall-ewwel ma tantx ħadu gost biha. Imma mbagħad kollha kemm huma għenuna u għenu l-dat tifel, jew ġuvni, għanajtek, illi salvajnieħ. Għax kont impiegajt xi mill-inqas erba minn
dawn il-persuni
li ħarġu
mill-programm.
li kienu ħajħorġu mill-programm. U kollha kienu għalija ħadgos li għamilt għax.
Imma forsi għal dak iż-żmien inti isek ħanejdu hekk ħadd riskju akbar għaliex
ħafna, infatti l-impjegati l-oħra ma tantx ħadu gost.
U minn ma tgħidilna l-ismiet ta' dawk il-persuni forsi, ta' dawn iż-żgħażagħ daħlu jaħdmu miegħek. Imma forsi xi ħaġa laqtitek anke minn dak li kienu qalulek mill-esperjenza tagħhom. X'laqtek minn dawk is-sessjonijiet?
Ħanajlek l-attitudni tagħna tan-nies. Hekk kienu drogati jew għati biss droga eħles minnu. Mentri uħat ma jteħġob, obviously. Mentri kif minna ħanna bil-għajnuna ħafna taċċali Miċeli. Kien meċċini u impjegajtom u għatma id-despeċini l-impjegajtom.
Minn kajja li għal dak iż-żmien kienet?
U żgur. Għax kien bżewġ problemi. Waħda l-istaff li jħor ma tantx ħagos biħax jgħidu ħeħlu huma kien ħaġa. Ma mbagħad eventwalment anki l-istaff.
U min jaf dawn il-żgħażagħ kemm baqgħu grati lejk.
Dej, ħafna.
We also were a group of about 8 of us. One of them had a guitar, and we were part of the charismatic renewal. And we used to go once a week to San Blas in the early days, and we used to take cheesecakes and drinks with us, and we would hold like a prayer meeting, and we would sing and get to know them, and build up a relationship with them. And then in the summertime and at Christmas, Ronnie would put on the barbecue, and they'd all come over. And my friends would all join in helping, and it was amazing how, away from San Blas, they would talk to you and tell you their story, and it was a very nice experience, very nice.
Anke għamilna ħabta nistednuhom bħala minn San Blas bħala l-grupp. Jiġu d-dar tiegħi u jużaw swimming pool u dika għenet ħafna wkoll li.
Isu bnejtu dan ir-rapport ta' ħbiberija.
Ħafna.
Kif anke naqraw fil-Vanġelu meta jisu Kristu jgħidilna li rridu narawh fin-nies ta' madwarna. Għax intom fil-ħajja tagħkom mod prattiku ftaħtu l-bibien tagħkom beraħ għal dawn il-persuni, rajtu l-umanità fihom. U ma baqgħu grati ħafna. Ikoll nistaqsikom xi rwol taraw fl-ispiritwalità fil-fidi anki 8 feet ma' riabilitazzjoni jew ma' dan il-proċess ta' fejqan. Intom li jaxtuħ ma' dawn il-persuni. L-effett li għamilna fuqhom jew. L-effett tagħkom tal-imħabba tagħkom u anke jisu l-fatt li wassaltulhom il-fidi.
U tara hekk meta kienu joħorġu mill-programm u kienu jiġu jirringrazzjawna għal
ġenerożità tagħkom.
Ġenerożità u pariri u speċjalment dak il-meetings li kienu konna mal-parents. Dak kienu importantissimi waqt it-tifel ikun qed jagħmel il-programm. Daw il-meetings tal-parents darba fil-ġimgħa kienu importanti ħafna.
And it was so satisfying if, we'd be perhaps in Valletta walking down Republic Street, and they would come up and say, "Hi, Ronnie, and look, we've got married and we've got children now." And it was a real satisfaction to see how many of them, were able to really
See
go
them
back into
in society.
into society again.
What was your reaction, Margaret, when Ronnie told you that he was going to employ these young people? Did you have any reservations?
No, really, because we'd already got to know them quite well before. So it was very sad actually when two of them fell back into their old ways and ended up back in San Blas, or even worse, really, some went back to prison. So, but generally, it was really great to see, see them and make a life for themselves, build them a life again.
Għaddin il-naxxar ma' parents di kienu hemm dak iż-żmien u jwafquni u ringrazzjawni. Tal-li konna
Tal-pariri tiegħek.
tal-pariri
Ekku.
which is nice.
U tajjeb ngħidu li jiena skoprejt bl-istorja sabiħa tagħkom li għandha ħafna valuri kif qed anki fl-introduzzjoni ta' dan il-programm għaliex intom propju ftit ta' żmien ilu wkoll ġejtu rikonoxxuti bħala bġieħ in-naxxar 2025 ukoll. Ġifieri ġejtu rikonoxxuti għall-ħidma tagħkom u ħerqan ħafna biex anke matul dan il-programm nkomplu niskopru anki l-ħidma tagħkom fih dan is-soċjetà li nemmen li aħna iż-żgħażagħ nistgħu nitalmu ħafna. By the way, ma' Ronnie u Margaret Mikallef ikompli minn hawn ftit tal-ħin ieħor ibqgħu hemm.
By the way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.
By the way, ikompli illum għandi miegħi l-Ronald kif ukoll il-Margaret Mikallef din il-koppja taktar minn 60 sena żwieġ qed nitkellmu dwar ħafna valuri sbieħ anke ta' kif qasmu l-ħajja tagħhom mal-oħrajn għax verament ingħataw anke minn dak li tgħidulna. Qabel inkompli nixtieq nieħu l-opportunità biex nirringrazzja t-tekniku tagħna tal-lum lill-Arter Mizzi kif ukoll lil Miguel Xwiereb li ħadetilna wkoll ir-ritratti li tistgħu tarawhom ukoll fuq il-medja soċjali ta' RTK 103 u nfakkarkom li dan il-programm tistgħu segwuh on demand kemm fuq il-pjattaforma tagħna Newsbook TV kif ukoll anke fuq il-YouTube ta' Newsbook Malta hemmhekk isibu l-programmi kollha ta' By the way li tistgħu segwhom bil-komdità kollha. Ronald, jiena naf li inti għamilt ukoll ħidma volontarja fih dan il-Millennium Chapel. Forsi tidna wkoll isu jekk kienx eżatt wara l-Caritas jew kif ġrat.
Kienet differenti għax jiena ħabib kbir u naħbib għal żmien twil, true football, ma' Father Hillary.
Okay.
U kont involved ħafna fil-bidu tal-Millennium Chapel.
Ejdenna dwar dan, kurjużi.
Il-Millennium Chapel kienet ħolma ta' Father Hillary li dak iż-żmien kienet kont ngħid dana ma jagħmilix qabel ma nfetħet il-Millennium Chapel. U fi żmien qasir irnexxielu jagħmilha il-Millennium Chapel u inti tista' timmaġina.
Ekku.
Illum nirringrazzjaw l-Alla
Fil-ħidma tagħha.
u nirringrazzjaw l-Father Hillary wkoll jiena
Nselmulu minn hawn.
għax għamel ħafna affarijiet kbieħ. Ħafna. Li ma jidrux. Infatti issa miskin qed inaqqas ftit għax għandu problema b'saħħ. Imma għalija jien Father Hillary huwa eżempju ta' doings,
Ta' azzjonijiet
ta' azzjonijiet li għandna nieħdu.
X'jolqtok l-aktar hekk fil-ħidma ta' Father Hillary, ġifieri tiftakru meta tiftaħ il-kappella letteralment.
Żgu qabel ħafna qabel. Father Hillary kien mhux kulħadd kien jifhmu da. Infatti darba minnhom Father Hillary ta' lift kien bil-lambretta dak iż-żmien.
Sewa.
Ta' lift wieħed mill-residenti li kellu xahar twil. U kien hemm xi ħadd u mara jirrapportaħ l-isqof li qed jagħti lifts il-tfajla bil-scooter. Metti dana kien wieħed mill-pazjenti ta' San Blas, fimni, ġviri. Il-pija fada ħelli għamil ġit, laqas nistan nispiegax.
Very often through the football, through the nurseries.
Uża anki
he reached to
il-futbol.
the youngsters that way, didn't he?
Għalija fada ħelli li jena eżempju. U introduċina ħafna għall-affarijiet li għamilna.
U nxkien ikun ix-xogħol tiegħek f'dan il-każ fil-Millennium Chapel?
Kollox. Per eżempju.
Għalija li ma nafx il-kollox tiegħek xi jfisser.
Biex bena il-Millennium Chapel mixxej. Naħseb ponta ftit għajnuna tiegħu. Ftit għajnuna tiegħu, ġifieri u biex ikompli wkoll għax hemmhekk jintaqgħu
il-food bank.
Ma ħafna problemi, ħafna problemi, ġifieri u minn hawn minn hemm jaqdihom fadeli.
U intom ukoll għax intom kontu volontira.
Ġas fadeli, ġifieri man.
Imma jena nistan il-nota jekk dil-umilta sabiħa tagħkom li jinkoltejt li jena marċet kabba ma rridx niftaħar u Father Hillary u Michele ġifieri jekk din nista' nħossa fikom ukoll li għamiltu ħafna ma jisu ma tistux teħdu il-krettu tal għamiltu, ma jinstidinkom għax rajt li jekk il-ħidma tagħkom tista' tispira l-oħrajn. U kif kien jirnexxilkom anki fil-ħajja ta' żwieġ tagħkom, bix-xogħol, eċċetera, issibu ħin għal-volontarjat u li timpenjaw ruħkom?
Daw l-aħħar 15 years, 20 years, kont ġa irtirajt. Għad tifhem ġifieri kelli ħafna ħin. Imma anke qabel kont insib ħin biex, speċjalment mad-drogati, għamilt ħafna żmien darbtejt li darbit fil-ġimgħa, kon ikun
impenjat
hemmhekk. Għad tifhem, u l-istess fil-Millennium Chapel. Għad tifhem ġifieri għena ħafna l-Father Hillary. ħafna.
Margaret, I'm asking him about how did you manage to balance your time well between family commitments, work and even helping out in the community?
Yes. Well, for a woman it was different because when we were married women had to leave their jobs if they were teachers or in the banks or whatever, and basically stay at home, and we were all stay at home wives, and our job was the housekeeping and looking after the children and bringing them up. And of course we were married quite young, so my children, I was still in my 30s when my children were already almost leaving school really and starting their own lives. So I had lots of time. So I was able to, through Father Hillary, I met, he would have quite a few foreigners that would come, because there used to be an English mass where there weren't many English masses in those days. There used to be an English mass at the church there. And the foreigners very often would ask if they wanted to get married. And one was a foreigner and the other was Maltese. They wanted their wives or spouses to become converts. And so I started to help with teaching catechism to adults. And
for how long have you been teaching catechism now?
About 35 years.
35 years. Ġifieri qed nisimgħu minn persuna li laqqas biss kienet temmen, li mbagħad sabet il-fidi u ġifieri f'dal-programm diġà semmejna l-ħidma tagħkom mal-Caritas fil-Millennium Chapel imma wkoll anki bħala katekista, as a catechist.
Yes, in fact, that was great. But I've also had the experience in the last 3 years. We belong to the we go to the Church of Divine Mercy in San Paul de Tarja, and we help there. I helped with the Eucharistic ministry there and in the hospital.
In the hospital?
And in the hospital before COVID, there was a big Eucharistic ministry, and we all had shifts that we would go. We would go at 2:00 in the afternoon. One day of the week, and we'd go around all the wards. We had different the coloured wards that we would go to in Martyr Day and give Holy Communion to the different people. And that was wonderful to be able to reach out.
What does it mean for you to be able to take also Jesus in hospital?
It was a wonderful experience, actually. It was... What was so nice about it was that we also in 1990 we went to Lourdes, and we went with some friends who were also members of the French Hospitalité of Notre Dame de Lourdes. That is the association that runs, all volunteers that is with the upkeeping of Lourdes. And Ronnie was introduced to the helping in the grotto, and I was helping in the piscine, that's immersing the people in the water. And by joining the hospitality, you commit yourself to 8 days once a year, always more or less at the same time. We go to Lourdes and we do our work phase. So we have been going now for 35 years.
Ġifir għal-35 sena, mortu Lourdes kull sena.
Yes.
Biex anki tassistu l-morda hemmhekk.
That's right, yes.
Xi ġmiel.
So we always go the end of April, the beginning of May, when there's a big pilgrimage from all the nights internationally. So you have the Americans coming in 2 jumbo jets with all their sick, and they come as far away as India and Japan and Argentina and Brazil. So we also get to meet all these people in all their different needs. I used to be in charge of looking after the mummies and babies.
Okay.
And it was so wonderful to see the mothers have children either so handicapped or so ill, and to see just the love and the smile on these mothers' faces, that although they have such sick children, God has given them that deep love within them to look to care for their children in such a way as they did.
Ecco.
And so we sort of commit ourselves to working for Our Lady with the sick. And so that then translated in me helping with the Eucharist ministry at the hospital. I felt that not only do we do this in Lourdes, but we have to live the promise that we made to Our Lady to help others.
Ron, inti Ministru tas-Sagrament tat-Qarbin ukoll.
Ejja.
X'jolqtok l-aktar fil-fatt li inti qed tieħu lil Ġesu għand persuni forsi vulnerabbli jew oħrajn li ma jistgħux joħorġu minn djarhom. Hija responsabilità, imma wieħed jara fi sbuħija tagħha, imma
hemm differenza milli tagħti l-ostja normali, n-nies normali. Ma meta tkun qed tqarben xi ħadd marit jew tħoss xi ħaġa differenti. Hekk kważi qed tagħti l-ostja u tarhom wiċċhom jitbiddel. It's a very, very good experience. It's fantastic.
Ġieli kien hemm xi esperjenza partikolari jekk li forsi baqgħet miegħek mingħajr ma nsemmu dak li jkun bismu, ma jekk xi esperjenzi ta' realtajiet li fit-Qarbin kellek anke opportunità li tiltaqa' magħhom.
Le m'għandix esperjenza
Imma dejjem hija waħda esperjenza pożittiva ħafna.
U qatt ma tidra li tajt issir xi ħaġa
Ta' checklist
ta'
jew
checklist.
jew ta' rutina.
Dejjem tħoss
Dik il-paċi
il-preżenza ta'
ta' Ġesu Ewkaristija.
Ġesu.
U tiddedika wkoll ammont ta' ħin. Ġifieri għaliex forsi anke ħafna persuni kont ibatu mis-solitudni, eċċetera, għal daqstant dak huwa mument opportunità fejn jgħidu kelma ma' xi ħadd.
U Margaret ma semmitx ukoll kemm tat instructions għal nisa jew irġiel biex jitamdu. When they're grown up, ġifieri.
Okay. Margaret, he's telling me that you've helped and guided people to get baptized.
That's right.
Instructed.
But these last years, being at the Divine Mercy, we also have catechism classes for children in English
Okay.
on a Wednesday afternoon. And for the last 3 years, I've been teaching not grown-ups now, but 6-year-olds for their first Holy Communion. And it's such a wonderful experience. These children, you know, they're so innocent, and you might ask them, you know, now you must you know now that you're going to be receiving Jesus, you must go to church now on Sundays. And one little boy said, my mum never takes us to church. So we said, well, now you will give them a good example, you know, and we talk to the parents as well and encourage them that receiving for the children to receive Holy Communion, it's not just a one affair with a white dress and enjoying themselves. But it's starting a relationship with Jesus.
Ecco.
And
Pass.
and so these last 3 years, it has been a wonderful experience.
U żgur esperjenza sabiħax wiċċek jixel bil-fer, ġifieri your face is bright.
Yes, I mean, they are so sweet, so innocent. And, you know, they say they really do sort of ask questions, and then you tell them something and they say, yes, we know, God is all around us, you know, and it's...
You appreciate
it's
their
really
innocence.
Yes.
Ron, anke fid-dawl ta' dan li qed tgħid Margaret, tħoss li jisu b'xi mod il-valuri qed jonqsu qed jiddeterjoraw, ġifieri forsi m'għandniex u ma jkunx ġust li nqablu minn żmienkom għal żmienna għax naturalment hemm aktar minn ġenerazzjoni waħda li tifridna u kull żmien fih tiegħu u ma rridux nitfgħu delli kraħ fuq iż-żgħażagħ, imma b'mod ġenerali.
Le ħana għandek eżempju, dak iż-żmien li bdejna
Toħorġu flimkien.
Kienet Ingliża illi għal Maltin kienet perikoluża. U fl-istess ħin
Xorta fitxet.
Xorta ħareġ
il-ġid
illi għenet il-Margaret għanajtek.
Ġifieri isu qed tgħid li fl-ebda ċirkostanza m'għandek
Karnival dak iż-żmien kien
tbaħrit.
daqshekk.
Ġifieri-
Ommi kienet iġġennet.
Ġifieri isu il-punt tiegħek huwa li minn kollox jista' joħroġ il-ġid u li Alla jaħdem f'kull ċirkostanza. U jkoll nistaqsikom x'taħsbu li kien is-sigriet ta' dawn is-60 sena u aktar ta' żwieġ tagħkom. The secret to the successful
Yes.
marriage.
Well, we had lots of ups and downs and bumps. The secret was that we had our faith, and without having faith, it can be very hard, very hard sometimes. But when you feel you're not alone, if you need to be involved in the church. If you can be involved in the church, then you become part of a community.
Ġifieri s-sabiħ tal-komunità li taqsam il-fidi tiegħek
That is the
mal-oħrajn.
marvelous thing then, that you feel the community is supporting you. at the moment I've been going through a very difficult time myself. And when you hear the words of, Christ saying, just look at me, when he was talking to Peter, when Peter was walking on the water towards him, and when he took his eyes off him, he sort of sank. And Jesus said, just look at me and come to me. And I feel the same. I'm going through a hard time. But when I'm trying just to be positive, but sometimes it's not so easy in the middle of the night. But you hear God's words saying, don't look down, just look at me and hold my hand. So you need to have faith, because you need to have faith. You need to be part of the church so that you can hear the words of Jesus talking to you through the Gospels, and he's there always with us and always supporting us.
Ġifieri, Ron, kif qed nisimgħu jisu forsi sentiment umani ta' anki min qed isegwi din l-intervista. Jisu jgħid dawn il-persuni imma ħadmu fil-Caritas, fil-Millennium Chapel, mal-Morda Flort, il-katekizmu ma' jisu wkoll jintlaqtu mill-mart, mir-realtajiet, mid-diffikultà. Inti fil-każ tiegħek kif tgħix anki dawn l-isfidi flimkien ma' martek Margaret?
Mhix faċli, at the moment għaddejjem minn perjodu li Margaret għandha bżonn kura speċjali, femini, ġifieri nħossa. Imma meta jkollok l-għajnuna talla, you get through it.
U anki kif kontu tgħidu qisu anki dan is-sapport tal-komunità li tafu li mhux tiġġorru waħedkom li qed taqsmu mal oħrajn.
Ekku.
U anki kif qed tgħid Margaret qisu l-fatt li l-fidi labet ir-rwol importanti ħafna matul dak kollu qed miegħu fi żwieġ.
Illi dejjem ngħid jien fil-bidu qed noħroġ ma' Ingliża mhix Katlik. X'ħat tagħmel f'idejk, hawn ħafna Maltin qed jistennew lilek tfajliet.
Kont playboy? Kellu min ridu tajjeb.
Shall I tell you what he gave me for my 16th birthday?
X'tak?
He gave me a bar of soap and a Bible. And I've always joked with him that the soap he must have thought I needed cleaning. and the Bible was for my spiritual health. So it's a birthday present that I've never forgotten.
That's good.
But, they talk so much about the youngsters now, and not so many are going to church. And I think it's amazing how many youngsters do go to church and the tremendous good they do. I mean, we have them several times during the year. At the moment, they come and they sell figolla.
All right.
And the money goes to the missionaries, and they tell you that they're saving up because they're going to do voluntary work. And they do voluntary work. The youngsters do so much that sometimes they're doing it silently and we don't hear about. But I think all is not lost.
Ekku, dan huma Ronald u Margaret Mikallef se nifqu għal ftit u niġu lura biex nikkonkludu magħhom biex naraw ukoll x'pariri u suġġerimenti għandhom għalina li qegħdin insegwu biex anki ikollna din it-tbissima. Nixtieqkom jekk taraw minn tisegwina fuq ir-radju taraw ftit it-tbissima sabiħa li għandhom din il-kopja li joġobhom anki jingħaqdu miegħu mal din l-edizzjoni tal-programm By the Way. Nifqu għal ftit u diskussjoni tkompli minn ftit tal-ħin ieħor.
By the Way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.
By the way, ikompli miej l-lum Ronaldo Margaret Mikallef, tajjeb il-insemmi, għalix qed nisimgħu ħafna anki dwar il-ħidma tagħhom, u Ronald vera ma jħobbx jiftaħar, allura ħajkoll insemmi għajjena, illi Ronald ukoll fil-passat, barra li huma fl-imkien bħala kopja rebħu ġieħ in-naxxar, Ron fil-passat, inti kont ukoll ġejti premjat b'anzjan tas-sena u kollu, tajb nsemmu illi huma bużnanniet, ġifieri għandhom 3 tfal, kienet jgħiduli. 7 nepotijiet, u mbagħad anki 6 pro nepotijiet, ġifieri żgur għandhom ħafna mhux biex sabis, anki biex rabbew 3 tfal, nepotijiet pro nepotijiet, ġifieri għandhom ħafna impenji, imma xorta waħda minn keda dawn l-impenji kollha baqgħu isibu il-ħin biex iżuru l-isptar, iqarbnu l-morda, ġifieri ħafna wkoll anki valuri sbieħ illi qegħdin joħorġu permezz ta' dan il-programm ukoll. Margaret, before you were telling us about your experience of facing hardship, but despite everything, even in this maybe, let's call it dark time, you still find peace in your faith. If I had to ask you to give a message to all those people out there who are suffering.
I think it's very important not to keep everything to yourself. It's important to tell other people what you're going through, and it's amazing how other people want to give their support to help you, and also you need to be able to turn to Jesus. Sometimes it's not easy, but the important thing is to try to receive him as much as possible, because through receiving the Eucharist, you get the strength to carry on. And it's amazing, actually, how wonderful everybody is. The carers, the hospital, the doctors, the hospital people. You hear them say so much, but at Martyr Day and at Samok, they are just wonderful people, really caring. They work long hours, but they really do help. And there is a lot of help that can be given to you. So my advice is reach out to others. There's hospice. There are so many people that are ready to listen and to give you help.
Ekku, unek nieħdu l-opportunità wkoll biex inselmu lil dawk kollha li b'xi mod jew ieħor jaħdmu fil-qasam tas-saħħa li jagħmlu ħafna sagrifiċċji wkoll kultant il-bot mill-familji tagħhom biex anki jagħtu servizz lil morda l dawk kollha li jkunu qegħdin ibatu biex anki jagħtu dan is-servizz anki b'dinjità kbira, ġifieri tajjeb anki li nirrikonoxxu din il-ħidma li tkun qed issir fis-soċjetà tagħna. Ron, ikoll nistaqsik. Jirna xilkom issibu ħin biex titolbu fl-imkien?
Fl-imkien...
We go to Mass every day.
Morru qoddis kull jum fl-imkien.
Sewa.
Imma li nitolbu per eżempju ngħidu Rosario.
Ma titolbu. Mux li. Mux talb ġiġa semmejt l-qoddis, semmejt l-Rosario.
We say the Rosary with the Lord's Rosary on 2000 at 6 o'clock.
Xi tfisser għalikom it-talba ta' Rosario, Ron?
Jina lija daqs kważi qoddis. Tiswa l-għajnuna tal-Madonna rridu, għanna bżonna.
Għalfejn tħoss li għanna...
Jina lija li titlob il-Madonna somehow or other tirċevja.
U intom li għamiltu ħafna affarijiet fil-ħajja tagħkom. U kollu nistaqsikom x'kienet l-isbaħ ħaġa, Ron, x'kienet l-isbaħ ħaġa li qatt esperjenzajt f'ħajtek jew li qatt tagħmilt. The most beautiful thing.
Liżjed ħin meta tamdet Margaret. Ma nafx semminix, Margaret tamdet għaw Malta ġifieri. You explain it, man.
Yes.
When you get baptized.
We have.
Semmita fil-bidu ta' dan il-program. Because I asked Margaret, if I had to ask you your most beautiful moment that you experienced in this life?
We've had so many. I think, yes, one of the most beautiful things is Christmas or at the special occasions when we have all the family together, when my sons and their wives and the children and now the grandchildren. It's so beautiful to be able to sit there and see all the blessings that God has given us. It's life truly fulfilled. And for me, now I can see why I wasn't meant to be a cloistered nun. God had other ways, and that is really lovely. That for me is the best thing, is to have the family gathered around. And here we're lucky in Malta. If anyone is lucky to have all their family living in Malta, then to have them around is I think, make the most of the children and enjoy their company.
Ron, ma nafx biex xogħol u b'daw l-impenji kollha anke ta' volontarjat kienx ikollok ħin u jkollkom ħin għal xi delizzju jew affarijiet li tħobbu tagħmlu.
Margaret kienet tilab il-golf.
You used to play golf, Margaret?
I used to play golf. We used to play tennis in the early days.
Ħafna tennis.
U kif?
Jina kont involved ħafna fl-sports, fil-futbol.
Fil-futbol.
Mal-MFA, ġifieri kont it-teżorier tal-MFA.
Kemm dom tal-perjodu twil?
Oh yes, at least 15.
U kien hemmhekk li
15 years.
Nimmaġina li hemmhekk imbagħad kien il-punt fejn iltqajt anki ma' Father Hillary.
Ukoll, żgur. Għax ma' Father Hillary bdejt l-sports. Meta kellna training taż-żara u tal-training school.
All right.
And Melita?
Użgur, jien kont president tal-Melita Football Club. Kont nilgħab ukoll futbol.
Kont nilgħab ukoll. Mbagħad mort aktar spettatur milli forsi tilgħab.
Ekku.
U tħoss. Għajli.
Li ħassejt ukoll jien naħseb li effettwat il-ħajja. Jiena kont border ta' Norwigi għal 6 snin. Għalkemm dak iż-żmien kont ngħid li qiegħed il-ħabs. Imma llum napprezza il-background ġiżwita li armoni u naħseb li l-fejt, meta nsemmi l-Fada Bernard, għenet ħafna wkoll.
Ġifieri dik il-formazzjoni li inti kollok.
Formazzjoni.
F'post sekondarja, eccetera. U semmejna l-sport tara rabta bejn eżempju l-sport u l-evangelizzazzjoni.
Fada ħelli juża ħafna dik, juża ħafna. Qabel iżjed għax kellu iżjed preżenza fit-training ta' tfal. Illum madux, obviously. Imma dak iż-żmien li għamilna bil-youths kienet importanti ħafna.
U barra semmejna l-Caritas, il-Millennium Chapel, żjarat tagħkom fl-Urt mal-Morda, kien hemm xi forma ta' ħidma oħra li forsi ma semmejtx jiena imma li kontu tagħmlu fiskiet li tajjeb illi nsemmu.
Ringrazzja wkoll il-naxxar u
il-Konsil Lokali?
Il-Konsil Lokali.
Ok, il-Konsil Lokali tan-naxxar.
Darbtej onorawni lili u l-Margaret. Tifhem ġifieri.
U kif ħassejtukom meta ġejtu onorati bġieħ naxxar?
Ħafna tax aħna m'aħniex naxxarin, illum inħossni naxxari, ġifieri.
Inti minn fejn inti propja?
Minn Taslima.
Minn Taslima. U Margaret diġà skoprejna minn fejn.
Imma dik ħaġa oħra tinsemmi li noqgħod in-naxxar. Għalija jien kienet ħafna għajnuna għalija.
Blimma mod għajnuna.
Organizzati u dejjem japprezzaw. Mhux li biss ġifieri, imma kif jaħdmu.
Naturalment anke dawn ir-rikonoxximenti intom apprezzajtuhom għax ma kontux qed tistennew.
Mhux hekk, eżatt. Eżatt.
U it-tfal ta'kom minn jekk huma anki gburin bil-ħidma ta'kom.
But I felt that when we were accepting the honor, that we were accepting it too for all the other couples. We see so many couples that do so much silently and perhaps without being honored, but there are so many couples that do so much good for the community. So I would say to anyone who has time on their hands or are feeling lonely, to reach out. There's always somewhere in one way that you can help, and in the community.
Ekku. X'messaġġ sabiħ u kemm sabiħ illi anki intom għażiltu illi l-ħajja tal-fidi ma tgħixux waħedkom imma tgħixuha f'ambitu ta' komunità mal-oħrajn u verament tkunu hemm mhux biss għal xulxin imma anki għall-oħrajn. Qabel nagħlqu ma nafx għandkom xi messaġġ konklusiv xi ħaġa li tixtiequ iżidu. Anything to add, Margaret? Before we conclude?
Ħaġa nirringrazzjawk tal-li l-qajtna u tajta dell-esperienza għat mamil ta' najla restaurant.
Għattara? ħadd pjaċir?
ħadd pjaċir ħafna.
Dak l-importanti, u ċert li semmi ħadu pjaċir ukoll.
Good. God bless you.
Yes, thank you.
You enjoyed it, Margaret?
I enjoyed it, and I do hope that that our message got through, you know. There's so much where you can help. So if you have any time at all on your hands, then do reach out and help. It's amazing how you receive so much more in return.
Ekku. Xi storja sabiħa ta' tama, li ġifieri timlew l-qalbi meta nibqa' anki nisma' b'esperjenzi bħal dawn tant u tant pożittivi. Nirringrazzjakom li samtu anki l-vulnerabilitajiet ta'kom. Margaret, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Even on this recovery process. May God bless you.
Thank you very much.
And may you realize God's love even in the hardships and even when you face the dark times. You realize that you're loved for who you are and you always remember His promises and continue the way you're living your life. God bless you both.
Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you.
U għemmek ġejna fit-tmim ta' edizzjoni oħra ta' dan il-programm By the Way, appuntament ieħor għal-ġimgħa d-dieħla jiena Gabriel Lija, inselmilkom.
By the Way, jippreżenta Gabriel Lija.